Right. My latest record is called Nighthawks, and came about. It's for my Bone Bridge band with Doug Womble on slide guitar and Trevor Dunn on bass and Mike Serene on drums. And it kind of came about when I set aside time to work on the record, but it turned out the time I set aside was during when Sandy, the Hurricane Sandy hit New York, and we were blacked out downtown New York where I live. And so I was working by candlelight and conceiving and coming up with this record during that period when it was very quiet and dark downtown. And so it has this quality of that old Nighthawks picture by Edward Hopper, you know, where kind of like this nighttime thing. And so it's funny how what happens when you're faced with kind of a dilemma. You know, it's like you got to make it work. So I made it work, and I came up with about half the record during that period, and then just conceived of the whole record around that same time. And so we put it together, and it's came out great. It's on my label, Skipstone. For a while now, it's not unusual at all. It seems to me the only way to go because, well, first of all, there's not a lot of record companies putting out records. And second of all, it's nice to have the control. It's nice to, you know, and where you can make money is in licensing. And then if you have control of your music, then you make all the money. So that's good. So yeah, but the record business is, it's tough. You know, now I feel like you have to, it's more important to perform live, even more important now, because that's the way you sell records, you know. I mean, it's always been the case, but it's even more so now because that's what drives people to come. That's what drives people to write about gigs and get some information out there. Yeah, I've always had I do some movie scoring and stuff like that. So I have like this, I think because I grew up with looking at photography my whole life, I have this feeling for visuals and music together. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just finished a documentary called Nothing on Earth that's about this photographer who, Murray Fredericks, who puts himself into these incredibly difficult situations. He put himself on a glacier in Greenland, and his trip there with the dog sleds and the, you know, all the equipment and everything to get up on this glacier. And so I scored that, and came out really nice. I'm releasing a record, and I put together a new band for it, and so that's for the future. It's going to be nice for me. I'm going to go to Saalfelden Jazz Festival with the band, and so some fun stuff. So these little movie scoring projects sometimes turn into other things, which is cool. Well, you know, I was lucky because the guy who directed it was using my music to temp track it out, and so I had a feeling for what he wanted, and it turned out he wanted solo cello for the whole thing. So it's more of a kind of a little bit of a, it's not so super scary, it's a little more atmospheric and warm, the score. Like making shoes, you have to make them fit just right, and it's not totally your project. That's the thing. As an artist, we're used to like making your record and just having all this control, and then you take that same attitude to a movie, and the director's like, wait a minute, dude, I'm in control. So, whoa, it's different. Erik Friedlander, E-R-I-K.